Summary of this tutorial. In this tutorial, we will discuss how we can implement custom search or filtering in jQuery Datatable using ASP.NET MVC. So this is the output of custom search in client side. Here we have added additional row for individual column search. One search control for each of these columns. We can search columns like name, position, age and salary using text boxes like this. So here we have added drop down to search inside jQuery Datatable. This is the output of custom search in server side. So here we have added search box outside the jQuery Datatable. What's up YouTube? Welcome to .NET Mob. This is my third video in the series of jQuery Datatable and ASP.NET MVC integration tutorial. In this tutorial, I will show you how to implement custom search or custom filtering in jQuery Datatable using ASP.NET MVC application. Before starting this video tutorial, I would like to ask you a favor. If you found this video helpful, please thumbs up this video. And for more awesome videos like this, please subscribe to this channel .NET Mob. Without further ado, let's get started. This is my Visual Studio 2013. Here we have a fresh ASP.NET MVC application. I have removed default controllers and related model classes and views from this project. Before continuing with this project, let me show you my database here. Here we have a database employee DB. Inside that we have a table employee. It contains columns employee ID, name, position, office, age and salary. So it is populated with 57 rows. So this is the same DB that we have used in part 1 and part 2. Now I'm going to import this database entity model into this application. For that, right click on models, then add new item, select data from the left panel, then select ADO.NET entity data model. Then name the model here. I will name it as DB models. Click on add, select generate from database, then click on next. Click on new connection. Now we have to type the server details here. For me it is local /SQLE 2012. Then from this drop down we have to select the database. I will select employee DB, then click on OK. Now I want to change this entity connection settings in web config as DB model. After creating this entity model, there will be a class with this name DB model, and we want to create an object of this class in order to interact with database. Click on next. In this step we have to select database objects that we want to include in this entity model. So I will select the table employee, then click on finish. So here we have added entity model DB models under models folder. So here is the diagrammatic representation of the model. Now I am going to create a controller for employee. Right click on controllers, then add controller, then select MVC5 controller empty, click on add. I will name this controller as employee controller. Click on add. So here we have the employee controller. Inside that we have default action index. So I am going to set this employee controller as the default controller inside the root config file. Replace home with employee. Back to the controller employee. Now I'm going to create a view for this index action. Right click here, then click on add. Keep the view name as it is, index empty template, use layout page, click on add. So here we have the index view. For this view, this will be the default layout page underscore layout.cshtml, and I'm gonna remove this header from this layout page, and I want to change this footer here as custom search or filtering in jQuery Datatable. Now back to the view. Let me change this title as employee list. I will change this header as employee list. Now I'm going to create HTML table here. Table ID will be employee table. Inside that I will add t-head with a single row. Inside that I will add th for each column, name, then position, then th for office, then th for age, finally th for salary. In order to show these column headers in footer, let me copy this t-head from here and pasting here, change t-head to t-foot. That's it. In order to activate this HTML table as jQuery Datatable, we have to add few references. First of all, we have to add this style sheet path. For that, link, we'll paste the link here. Now in order to write scripts, I'm gonna use this section scripts. For that, we can start like this: section scripts. Now I'm going to add script reference src. Let me copy this path for jQuery Datatable JavaScript file and pasting here. Now inside this script tag, we can write custom script codes. First of all, I will create the event document dot ready function dot ready. Inside that, we will activate this table. For that, let me copy this ID. In order to activate this table, we can do this. Just call the function data table. Inside this function, we have to pass the settings for configuring this data table. First of all, I will type the configuration. After all, we will discuss each of them. Ajax is equal to, first of all, URL is equal to /employee/get list. Then type will be get, then data type will be JSON. After Ajax, we have columns. For that, we will pass an array here. Data is equal to name, and we have to pass name property here as name. Like this, we have to pass 4 more parameters for these columns. For that, let me copy this line and pasting below that 4 times, changing name to position, then office, then age, finally salary. First of all, here we have specified Ajax request in order to retrieve data to populate this HTML table. This is the URL of the request, employee controller, then get list action method of the type get, and it should return data in the format JSON. Then we have columns property. It will tell the data to be binded with each of these columns. So first column name will be binded with data property inside this return JSON. For position column, it will be position property from this JSON data, and so on. Let me create this get list action method inside employee controller. For that, we can do this public action result get list. By default, action methods are of the type get. In order to retrieve data from SQL Server, we are going to use class employee inside the entity model, this class. So I will use this namespace. Let me copy that, and we have to import that namespace here using statement. Inside that, I will create an object of db model as db is equal to new db model. Outside this using statement, let me create a list of employee as emp list, and we will fill this emp list with the employee rows from the table db.employees to list. We want to convert this into employee list. Finally, we have to return this as a JSON data. For that, we can do this JSON new data is equal to emp list, and we have to set the JSON request behavior as allocate. That's it. Let me run this. For that, hold Control then press F5. So here we have populated this JQ grid with 57 rows from the database. Now I'm going to add a class for this table. For that, go to index view, then add a CSS class here, class as display, saving and reloading this page. So this is the default theme of jQuery Datatable. Instead of this theme, I want to use Bootstrap theme in jQuery Datatable. For that, you can go to the official website, then examples. Below that, you can see the integration details of Bootstrap 4. First of all, in the HTML table, we have to use these classes. Let me copy this and pasting here. In the first video, we have discussed how we can use different themes in jQuery Datatable. So we have to add these jQuery references. First of all, we have to add jQuery reference. It is there in the layout page. Then we have to add jQuery.datatables.min.js. It is already there. Now we need to add one more script file, src. Let me copy this link from here and pasting here. Now we have to add few CSS reference. First of all, we have to add Bootstrap 4 reference, then datatable.bootstrap4.min.css. So we don't need this reference. Let me copy this and paste in below that, and we need to replace this path in the copied lines. By default, ASP.NET MVC templates comes with Bootstrap. So inside the layout page, there you can see a bundle for CSS. Let me open this bundle config here. So here you can see the bundle content /CSS. So I'm going to comment this Bootstrap since we have added latest version of Bootstrap inside this index view here. Build this solution, reload this page. So here is the Bootstrap theme in jQuery Datatable. First of all, we will implement client-side searching or filtering in this jQuery Datatable. In this jQuery Datatable, here we have a general purpose search text box. With this search box, we can type our keyword something London here, and it will bring all of the rows that contains search keyword London in any of these columns. So in this jQuery data table, we are going to do custom search for each of these columns. So it will look like this. We will add a search box for each of these columns here, and you can search name column with this search box, and you can search position column with this search box. First of all, we have to remove this general purpose search box. For that, we have to edit the table settings. DOM is equal to let me save this and reloading this page. So here we have removed general purpose search box. So this DOM property can be used to position elements inside jQuery data table. So it is specify the official website. Go to examples, then under basic initialization, there you can see DOM positioning. So here we have the details. So here we have specified in the top part we need length or page drop down, then we need R, that means processing indication, then we have table. In the bottom part we have I stands for information showing 1 to 10 of 57 entries, then we have P, it stands for paging, then finally we have a clear tag. Now we are going to add individual column search box in jQuery data table. For that we will add additional row inside thead part. For that I'm gonna depend the event f and init complete. So this is an event inside jQuery data table. So this event will be triggered after populating data from server into jQuery data table. So here we are going to declare a function parameters will be or settings, then JSON data. So this variable JSON will contain data or JSON data that is returned from the server. Outside this I'm gonna create a new function. Function name will be add search control, and we have a parameter JSON data. Let me call this function inside the event init complete, and we will pass the JSON data. First of all, I'm going to append a new row by copying this existing row. For that, I'm gonna do this. Let me copy table ID from here and pasting here inside the thead part. We are going to append a new row. For that, we will copy or clone existing row. tr first, then call the function clone, saving and reloading this page. So here we have copied first row into the second row inside th part. Now I want to replace this th element with search box. For that I will iterate through each of these th elements. Let me copy this and pasting here, and we are going to iterate through second row. Index will be 1 th each function. We have a parameter index. Now we are going to replace these th elements. For that we can do this means th element dot replace with, we will replace them with new th element. It contains a search box or text box, so type will be text. Saving and reloading this page. Now we have added search boxes here. I want to set this search box placeholder as search name, search position, search office, and so on. For that we can do this. Placeholder is equal to search we are going to concat these text. This dot html, saving and reloading this page. That's it. For these search text boxes, we have to bind key up event in order to search this jQuery data table. First of all, I'm going to declare a variable to store this input element var search control is equal to, let me copy this and paste in here, inside th, then tr, then th, then we have to pass the index here, column index, so that we can pass from the index variable inside the loop, then input control. So inside this variable we have this input control. Now we can add key up event for this control. Search control on key up, we will add a function here. Inside this event we will search inside the jQuery data table. For that we have to save this jQuery object inside a variable var emp table, and we need to move this function inside this ready function in order to retrieve the jQuery data table variable emp table. Let me paste it here, and we can do this emp table dot column, then column index, then call the function search. Inside that we have to pass the search keyword that we can retrieve from this variable dot val. Finally call the function draw, saving and reloading this page. So if I type London here, it will bring all of the rows that contains London. Now if I type software engineer in position search box, it will bring all of the employees in office London with position software engineer. Now I am going to replace this office search box with a drop down. It will be populated with distinct office from this table. For that I am going to add if clause here. If index not equal to 2, then we will replace the th element with text box. Otherwise we will replace it with drop down for office. First of all, I will declare a variable for office drop down. Office drop down is equal to, we can declare drop downs in jQuery like this: select /. Now I am going to append first default item for this drop down. Append. In order to append options into drop down, we can do this option, then attribute value will be empty for the first element, then text will be select office, Now we are going to find distinct element from the column office and we will add them into this dropdown. First of all, I will type the code. After that, I will explain each line. Want to replace these values and text with element.office. First of all, here we have declared an array office. Then we have iterated through the JSON data. Here you can see the JSON response from the server that we have passed here. Inside this data property, we have sent data for the table. So we will iterate through JSON.data property. So inside this variable index, we will have row index. Inside element, we have data for each columns inside the table. If closed, we will check whether current office value is there in this office array or not. If it is not there, we will push it into the array and we will add the value into office dropdown. Now we are going to replace the th element with this dropdown. For that, we can do this dot replace with th, and we will concat it with the outer HTML of this dropdown. For that, we can do this, copy this and pasting here, then property, then we need to retrieve outer HTML and we need to concat the closing for the th element. Now we need to save this select control inside a variable like this. For that, let me copy this and pasting here. Instead of input control, here we have select control, and we are going to add change event for this dropdown. On change, we will add a function here. Inside that, we will do this search operation. Copy and pasting here. Sorry, here we have misspelled the closing of th element. Save and reload this page. So here we have added office dropdown successfully. Now if I select San Francisco, it will retrieve all the rows that contains San Francisco. For search boxes, if I type a search keyword here, it will retrieve all the data that contains search keyword anywhere in the column. We can't do that for dropdowns. There should be an exact match with selected dropdown item and column value. So we will go for exact match in jQuery Datatable. For that, I will use the regular expression. If selected value is empty, then we will search for empty string. Otherwise, we will go for regular expression. Let me concat this selected item value here. And finally, dollar symbol. Then true and false. So this second parameter says this first parameter is a regular expression, and third parameter says we need an exact match. Saving and reloading this. So nothing will change. So here we have done custom search with dropdown in jQuery Datatable. So that's it guys. Here we have completed with custom filtering in jQuery Datatable in client side. Next we are going to implement jQuery Datatable custom search in server side. Please watch part 2, that is previous video for server side processing in jQuery Datatable. There we had a detailed discussion on server side processing. So in this tutorial I am going to use the demo project from part 2 to demonstrate custom filtering in server side. So this is the demo project from server side. Let me open that. In this project we have used same database EmployeeDB. Here we have specified server side property to true. So we have to do operations like sorting, paging and filtering in server side. Here we have done the filtering, then sorting and paging. So in this tutorial we are going to add custom filtering in server side. Let me run this application. For that, hold Ctrl and press F5. Right now it is fetching data from server. So in this demo project we have used semantic UI theme in jQuery Datatable. All of the operations, sorting, paging and searching is done at server side. So in this jQuery Datatable we are going to add custom search. For that I'm going to copy codes from custom filtering in client side. Let me copy these properties, DOM and this event, and pasting inside this server side project. And we have to add this function, add search control. Let me copy that, copy and pasting here. So with this DOM property we have removed general purpose search box. With this init complete event we will add search controls. Unlike previous project, I am going to add a new table to add search controls. For that we can do this. Let me copy this table header from here and pasting here, and we have to change the ID as search table, and we need the close tag for the table. And inside the function search control we have to replace these IDs search table. Let me copy that and pasting here. So here we have copied employee table first row into the search table, and we have to change this ID here. There is a small difference in the ID. Let me paste it here and here. And we want to iterate through search table first row, so index will be 0, and we want to replace these th elements with search controls. If index not equal to 2, then we will replace these th elements with search box. Here we have replaced the th element with a search box, and then we have declared a variable to store the search element. For that we have to change the table ID here, and index will be 0. Then binding key up event to the search box, and we have to store this jQuery Datatable initialization into a variable like this, var emp table. That's it. Then we have declared a variable to store office dropdown, added first default element, then an array of office. Then we want to add distinct element into this dropdown that we have done here. Then we want to replace the th element with the dropdown HTML. Then instead of employee table we need to add search table. Index will be 0. Yes, that's it. Let me save this and reload this page. Something went wrong. Back to the application. Here we have missed the head port. Saving and reloading this. So here we have added search element successfully. So in server-side processing, we have to understand few points here. So when we call this search function followed by drop function, it will raise server-side request. Same in the case of dropdown also. Here we have called the search function and drop function. We don't want to do this regular expression here. We can do that in the server side. So I will pass the selected value as it is. Saving. Now back to the employee action method. As I told you in part 2, values from the jQuery data table will be posted with these keys like start, length, search value, so and so. So in this project we don't need this general search value. Instead of that, we will do the custom filtering here. Custom filtering. So these keys can be found in the official website manual. Go to the website datatables.net, then go to manual, then server-side processing. There you can see the parameters that sent from the jQuery data table. For this custom search, we need this parameter, columns I search value. If I replace I with 0, then it will give the search keyword inside this text box. If I replace I with 1, I will get the search keyword inside this position text box. For that, we can do this if not equal to string is null or empty, request. Let me copy this parameter from here and pasting here, changing index to 0. If it is not equal to null or empty, then we will do the search operation. Inside this list, emp list, we will have all of the employee list. So emp list is equal to emp list dot var x such that x dot name to lower contains. Here we need to pass the search keyword and pasting here to lower, and finally we have to convert it into employee list. We don't need these curly braces here since we have a single row inside this if clause, and we have to do this for remaining 4 columns. For that, let me copy this and pasting below that 4 times. For the second column index will be 1. Instead of name, we have position. For the third column, index will be 2. Corresponding property is office. Then fourth column index will be 3. It is age. We want to convert that into string. Then we have last column. It is for salary. We want to convert that into string. Build this solution. So here you can see that these search boxes are working right now. If I select Tokyo here, it should return employees from Tokyo office. So here we have done custom search using search box outside the jQuery Datatable. In the next video, we will discuss fixed columns in jQuery Datatable. Like this, you can fix leftmost or rightmost columns in jQuery Datatable, and you can freeze this column header here. Along with that, we will discuss column visibility in jQuery Datatable. You can hide these columns when you have a lot of columns. That would be helpful if you hide unwanted columns like start date, age. You can do this in jQuery Datatable. So these two topics will be covered in next video. If you found this video helpful, please thumbs up this video, and for more awesome videos like this, please be subscribed to this channel .NET Mob. You can download these two projects for client side and server side, can be downloaded from the link given below in video description along with DB script. If you have a doubt or feedback, please comment below in comment box. Please like and share this video with your friends and colleagues so that they can benefit from this. Have a nice day. Bye.